Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will shatter every comfortable lie you've been telling yourself about why your life feels incomplete. You are not broken, you are not behind, you are not too late. What you are is a chosen one standing at the threshold of your awakening, and the universe has been orchestrating every painful detour, every crushing disappointment, every moment when you felt completely alone to bring you to this exact moment. Every time you felt like you didn't belong anywhere, especially in situations that demanded you shrink yourself, compress your dreams and apologize for your intensity, that wasn't a flaw in your character, that was your soul rejecting a destiny too small for what you came here to create. Your restlessness, your perpetual sense of being misunderstood, your inability to settle for mediocrity, these aren't weaknesses to overcome. They are the calling cards of someone whose very existence threatens the status quo. The reason you've never felt at home in conventional spaces is devastatingly simple. You were never meant to inhabit someone else's vision of success. You were sent here to architect something entirely new, something that didn't exist when you needed it most. While others found comfort in following predetermined paths, you've been wandering in what felt like wilderness, collecting pieces of wisdom, fragments of experience, and depths of understanding that will soon reveal themselves as the blueprint for your empire. Right now, as these words reach you, there's a door opening that you spoke into existence. Whether you realize it or not, your words have been seeds planted in fertile cosmic soil. Every time you've cried out in frustration, every moment you've whispered desperate prayers into the darkness, every instance when grief or worry or sadness poured through you so intensely that your words carried the raw power of absolute truth, you have been heard. Your emotions were never your enemy. They were your secret weapon. When you spoke from the depths of genuine feeling, when your words emerged not from your head but from the molten core of your authentic experience, you activated forces that have been moving mountains on your behalf ever since. The universe responds not to empty affirmations or hollow mantras, but to the trembling honesty of a soul that has reached its breaking point and demanded transformation. That situation that has felt impossibly stuck, whether it involves your finances, your career, legal complications, or relationships that have been draining your life force, is about to experience a breakthrough that will leave you questioning why you ever doubted your own power. Your words are magic now, but not in some ethereal, disconnected way. They carry the authority of someone who has walked through fire and emerged with wisdom that can only be earned through experience. When you speak your intentions into existence now, you're not just hoping or wishing, you're commanding reality to align with your vision. But here's what most people don't understand about manifestation. It works most powerfully when you keep your most precious dreams protected from those who lack the consciousness to support them. Don't reveal your deepest aspirations to people who are still playing small. They will project their limitations onto your possibilities, contaminate your clarity with their fears, and attempt to convince you that their ceiling should be your floor. Speak your truth to the universe in solitude. Let your journal become a sacred contract between you and infinite possibility. Allow your meditation to become a boardroom meeting between your conscious mind and the forces that govern creation itself. But remember this warning with equal intensity. If your words can create miracles, they can also perpetuate prisons. Every time you speak negatively about yourself, every moment you indulge in the luxury of complaining without taking action, you're using the same creative force that could liberate you to instead reinforce your limitations. Your tongue is a sword that cuts both ways. Wield it consciously. You've been moving through life, leaving traces of your essence everywhere you've lived, worked, studied, and struggled. Every place that tried to contain you received a gift they couldn't fully comprehend, a fragment of your authentic power that planted seeds of possibility in minds that had never dared to dream beyond their circumstances. And every place that rejected you, every environment that made you feel too much, too intense, too visionary, released you to carry forward lessons that are now crystallizing into your unique form of genius. Your energy is intoxicating to others precisely because it carries the frequency of someone who refuses to settle. People are drawn to you not just for who you are, but for who they sense they could become in your presence. This is why it's crucial that you consciously reclaim your power each day. Call back your energy from every timeline where you gave too much, from every person who took without reciprocating, from every situation that left you feeling depleted rather than energized. The pattern of your life moving from place to place, searching for something that felt like home, never quite fitting into the boxes that satisfied others. This wasn't aimless wandering, this was preparation. You've been collecting experiences like a master craftsperson, gathering rare materials for a creation that will justify every moment of discomfort you've endured. Perhaps you've worked various jobs, or found yourself constantly explaining your unconventional choices to people who couldn't see the bigger picture. In each of these places, your ideas were probably too expansive for the local mindset, your emotions too deep for people comfortable with surface-level existence, your dreams too ambitious for environments that rewarded mediocrity. Instead of receiving the support and encouragement your vision deserved, you encountered judgment, misunderstanding, and attempts to convince you that you were being unrealistic. But here's what they couldn't see: you are not unrealistic, you are prophetic. Your seemingly impossible dreams were actually glimpses of the future you're destined to create. The fact that your vision seemed too big for every space you encountered wasn't a sign that you needed to dream smaller. It was confirmation that you needed to build bigger. The reason you didn't stay in those limiting environments, the reason you couldn't force yourself to be grateful for opportunities that felt like cages, is because your soul recognized a truth that your mind was still learning. You weren't meant to fit into existing structures. You were sent here to build new ones. Now comes the synthesis. All of those experiences, your creative spark that was never fully appreciated, your empathy that allowed you to see what others missed, your voice that carried important messages even when no one seemed to be listening, your ambition that refused to be tamed, these elements are converging into something unprecedented. You're being called to create something that only you could conceive, because only you have lived your particular combination of experiences. This could manifest as a business that solves problems no one else has identified, a creative project that gives voice to experiences that have never been properly expressed, or a way of life that demonstrates possibilities people didn't know existed. Whatever form it takes, it will bear the unmistakable signature of someone who refused to accept that things have to remain as they've always been. You've recently experienced what can only be described as a quantum leap. Without necessarily understanding the mechanics of what happened, you've shifted into a timeline that reflects your highest potential rather than your historical limitations. Maybe it was a piece of content that reached you at exactly the right moment, words spoken by someone who saw something in you that you hadn't fully recognized in yourself, or a realization that struck with such clarity that it reorganized your entire understanding of what's possible for your life. That blessing you once thought would require years of struggle and sacrifice is suddenly within your reach. The support you never expected to receive is materializing from unexpected sources. Someone who recognizes your vision is preparing to offer resources, connections, or opportunities that will accelerate your progress beyond what you thought possible. A situation that appeared to be a setback is revealing itself as the perfect setup for your breakthrough. Your relationship with your family lineage is undergoing a profound transformation. Whether through emotional healing that repairs generational wounds, reconnections that restore bonds you thought were permanently severed, or blessings that flow down through family lines in ways that surprise everyone involved, something beautiful is shifting in this realm of your life. If distance has separated you from family members, expect a reunion that brings not just physical proximity, but genuine understanding and respect. You've been breaking generational patterns simply by refusing to accept limitations that previous generations considered inevitable. Your choice to pursue independence rather than security, authenticity rather than approval, and vision rather than convention has been sending ripples both backward and forward through your family line. Your courage to live differently is creating permission for others to examine their own assumptions about what's possible. Right now, as you absorb these words, your name is being spoken in rooms you've never entered, by people who recognize something in your work, your energy, or your potential that aligns with opportunities you don't yet know exist. These conversations are happening with respect, curiosity, and genuine interest in what you could bring to situations that require someone with your unique combination of skills and perspective. One of these people holds the key to a door you've been approaching without realizing it. Whether it's a career opportunity that finally matches your capabilities, a creative collaboration that amplifies your message, or a platform that gives you access to the audience that needs what you have to offer, the connection is being forged before the introduction has even taken place. Your phone will ring, or your inbox will receive a message that begins a conversation you've been preparing for your entire life. This is the moment when everything you've been building in private steps into the spotlight of opportunity. You're standing at the edge of a new beginning that will be powered by your creative energy and authentic self-expression. If there's a project you've been contemplating, a form of creative work that calls to you, or a way of sharing your gifts that you've been hesitating to pursue, this is the universe removing every excuse you've been using to delay your own greatness. Within the coming days, you'll experience a surge of energy that will feel like awakening from a deep sleep you didn't realize you'd been caught in. If you've been exhausted despite adequate rest, if you've felt like you're moving through life in slow motion despite your best efforts, this shift will restore not just your energy, but your enthusiasm for the possibilities that await your attention. When this wave of vitality arrives, don't waste it on planning and overthinking. Channel it immediately into action. Pick up that project you abandoned, make that phone call you've been avoiding, take that first step you've been preparing for but never quite felt ready to execute. The inspiration that accompanies this energy boost won't be random. It will be precisely calibrated to guide you toward the next phase of your evolution. You're meant to create something significant from virtually nothing. If your starting point feels humble or your resources seem inadequate, recognize this as part of the design rather than evidence of limitation. Every empire began with someone who looked at empty space and saw potential where others saw impossibility. Your gift is not just creativity, but the ability to manifest ideas into tangible reality using nothing but vision, determination, and the mysterious alchemy that transforms dreams into physical form. The path to your abundance doesn't run through corporate hierarchies or traditional career ladders. Your wealth will emerge from your original ideas, your unique perspective, and your willingness to consistently show up as the most authentic version of yourself. The more freedom you claim in how you work, when you work, and where you work, the more money, impact, and peace will flow toward you. Your energy blossoms in environments that honor your need for autonomy and creativity. Whether that's a home office that reflects your personal aesthetic, or studio space where you can lose yourself in creative flow, or a lifestyle that allows you to work while traveling to places that inspire you, your success is directly connected to your ability to operate within your natural rhythms, rather than forcing yourself to conform to schedules and structures that drain your vitality. If you find yourself drawn to creative entrepreneurship, spiritual healing work, artistic expression, or the challenge of building something entirely your own, trust that attraction, it's not a distraction from your real work, it is your real work. These callings aren't hobbies or side projects. They are the vehicles through which your true gifts will find their expression and your authentic contribution will reach the people who need it most. You possess everything necessary to transform your vision into reality. The skills you've developed, the experiences you've gathered, the wisdom you've earned, and the connections you've made have been preparing you for this moment when you finally give yourself permission to believe in the magnitude of what you're capable of creating. But understand this with crystal clarity: you are not creating from a place of scarcity or desperation. You are building from a position of divine authority. Every challenge that tried to break you instead forged you into someone capable of handling the magnitude of success that's coming. Every person who underestimated you contributed to your development of an unshakable inner knowing that no external validation could ever match. The reason you felt like an outsider in every room you've entered is because you weren't meant to join existing conversations, you were meant to start entirely new ones. Your discomfort in traditional spaces wasn't social anxiety or inadequacy. It was your soul's rejection of settling for discussions that were too small for the revelations you carry. This period of your life will be marked by rapid acceleration that might initially feel disorienting. Opportunities that you expected would take years to materialize will present themselves within months. Resources you thought were beyond your reach will become accessible through connections you didn't even know you had. Solutions to problems that have plagued you for years will suddenly seem obvious, not because the problem's changed, but because you've evolved into someone capable of seeing answers that were invisible to your previous level of consciousness. Your intuition is becoming razor sharp because you've finally learned to distinguish between the voice of your authentic wisdom and the chatter of inherited fears. Every time you've trusted your inner knowing over conventional advice and been proven right, you've strengthened this connection to your own guidance system. Now that guidance is operating at peak efficiency, steering you away from dead ends and toward openings that align perfectly with your highest purpose. The people who are about to enter your life possess resources, connections and perspectives that will catalyze your next phase of growth. Some will arrive as mentors who recognize your potential before you fully see it yourself. Others will come as collaborators whose skills complement yours in ways that create something neither of you could accomplish alone. A few will appear as investors or supporters who believe in your vision strongly enough to back it with their own resources and reputation. But here's what's most important to understand about this incoming wave of support. It's not charity or luck. You've earned this through every sleepless night you spent developing your skills. Every risk you took when playing it safe felt more dangerous than betting on yourself. Every moment you chose integrity over immediate gratification. The universe doesn't randomly distribute opportunities, it responds to readiness, and you have been getting ready your entire life. You are an alchemist with the rare ability to transform the raw material of experience into something valuable and healing. While others are crushed by the weight of difficulty, you've learned to process challenge and redirect it into fuel for your next breakthrough. You don't just feel deeply, you metabolize what you feel and transmute it into art, insight, solutions or innovations that serve the world. This is your superpower, taking energy that feels heavy, stuck or destructive and reshaping it into something that heals, inspires or liberates others who are struggling with similar challenges. Your sensitivity was never a weakness to overcome. It was a sophisticated instrument designed to detect problems that need solutions and opportunities that others miss entirely. Your wealth will emerge from the intersection of your creative gifts and humanity's unmet needs. Every problem you've personally struggled with has given you insight into solutions that millions of other people desperately need but can't find in the current marketplace. You're about to discover that your most painful experiences weren't random suffering, they were expensive education in solving problems that affect massive populations. The depression you battled taught you about mental health solutions that go beyond what traditional therapy offers. The financial struggles you endured gave you perspective on money that will help you build wealth while helping others escape the scarcity trap. The relationship challenges you navigated developed your understanding of human psychology in ways that will inform everything from your marketing messages to your leadership style. This is why you could never find satisfaction in work that felt meaningless or businesses that prioritized profit over purpose. Your soul was preparing you to build something that generates both financial success and positive impact. The resistance you felt toward just making money wasn't impractical idealism, it was your inner compass pointing you toward a more sustainable and fulfilling model of success. Your business acumen is sharper than you realize because you've been unconsciously studying human behavior, market inefficiencies, and unmet needs everywhere you've lived and worked. Your empathy gave you access to insights that purely analytical minds miss. Your struggles gave you credibility with audiences that polished success stories can't reach. Your authenticity will become your competitive advantage in a marketplace oversaturated with manufactured personas and empty promises. What you focus on now manifests with unprecedented speed and precision. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are operating at a frequency that cuts through resistance and skepticism to create results that will surprise even you. This accelerated manifestation power comes with responsibility. Use it consciously and specifically, rather than scattering your energy across multiple competing desires. Speak your intentions aloud, because your voice carries frequencies that rearrange reality at the quantum level. Sound waves generated by clear intention don't just fade into silence. They continue reverberating through dimensions of possibility until they attract the circumstances, people, and resources necessary to fulfill what you've declared. You're not building this path alone. There is assistance available to you that transcends ordinary human support. Whether you recognize it as spiritual guidance, intuitive wisdom, synchronistic events, or simply an uncanny ability to be in the right place at the right time with the right idea, there is an intelligence working in collaboration with your conscious efforts to ensure your success. Your ancestors passed down gifts that are activating within you now. These inherited gifts aren't burdens to carry, they are resources to deploy. What you're beginning from scratch will grow into something that supports not just your immediate needs, but creates a legacy that benefits people you'll never meet and family members not yet born. The project that feels small and tentative today contains the DNA of an enterprise that will provide security, purpose, and impact far beyond what you can currently envision. The resistance you'll encounter as you step into your power won't come from external forces. It will emerge from the parts of yourself that became comfortable with struggle and uncertainty. Success requires you to release victim narratives that once served as protection but now function as limitations. The story of how hard everything has been for you must evolve into the story of how those difficulties prepared you for unprecedented success. Some people in your current circle won't be able to make this transition with you. Their investment in your old identity, their comfort with your previous limitations, and their fear of their own unrealized potential will create friction as you expand beyond their expectations. This isn't cruelty or abandonment. It's the natural consequence of outgrowing environments and relationships that can't accommodate your evolution. It was the isolation that comes with carrying a frequency that most people in your previous environments weren't ready to match. As you step more fully into your power, you'll naturally attract people who operate at your new level of consciousness, ambition, and authenticity. Your nervous system is recalibrating to handle the energy of success rather than constantly preparing for disappointment or betrayal. This transition might feel uncomfortable initially because your body and mind have become accustomed to high-stress states. As opportunities begin flowing toward you with increasing frequency and magnitude, practice receiving without immediately looking for the catch or waiting for the other shoe to drop. The imposter syndrome that has whispered lies about your inadequacy is actually evidence of your readiness for greater responsibility and visibility. Only people who are genuinely capable of excellence worry about not being good enough. Those who lack the capacity for significant achievement rarely question their qualifications because they're not attempting anything that requires exceptional ability or preparation. You've been walking this path of preparation long enough. Now comes the phase where theoretical possibilities transform into measurable progress. The support you need is materializing. The opportunities you've been preparing for are presenting themselves. The audience that needs your message is gathering. The collaborators who share your vision are being drawn into your orbit. Every step forward now builds momentum that makes the next step easier and more effective. You're moving from the phase of struggle and uncertainty into the phase of flow and acceleration. Problems that once seemed insurmountable will resolve themselves through solutions you couldn't have imagined when you were still thinking within the constraints of your old reality. The universe is not just supporting your vision, it's actively co-creating with you, providing resources, removing obstacles, and opening pathways that make your success not just possible but inevitable. Your job is not to figure out how everything will work. Your job is to maintain clarity about what you want to create and remain open to methods and opportunities that exceed what your limited human perspective could have planned. This journey of self-discovery and authentic expression isn't just personal development, it's the foundation upon which everything else will be built. The more clearly you understand your genuine preferences, natural strengths, core values, and non-negotiable boundaries, the more precisely you can construct a life and career that amplifies your power rather than depleting it. Reclaim the aspects of yourself that you've been suppressing to fit into environments that couldn't appreciate your full spectrum of gifts. That hobby you abandoned because others thought it was impractical, that personality trait you minimized because it made some people uncomfortable, that dream you stopped talking about because it seemed too ambitious. These discarded pieces of yourself may contain the keys to your next breakthrough. Setting clearer boundaries isn't about becoming difficult or defensive. It's about conserving your energy for what actually serves your growth, while refusing to participate in dynamics that drain your vitality or compromise your integrity. When you know what you don't want, saying no becomes an act of self-respect rather than selfishness. When you know what does serve your highest good, saying yes becomes an investment in your own success. You came here to break cycles, not perpetuate them, to build bridges, not inherit walls, to demonstrate possibilities, not accept limitations. Every choice you make to honor your authentic nature, rather than conform to external expectations, creates ripple effects that give others permission to do the same. The story of your life is still being written, and you hold the pen. The chapters that felt like endings were actually transitions. The characters who seemed like obstacles were actually teachers. The setbacks that looked like failures were actually redirections towards something better than what you originally planned. Hold that thought for a moment. I need your attention for something very important. We're revealing everything we know about personal power, healing yourself and healing others through weekly Zoom call. No filters, no holding back. We have been quietly adding all the occult secrets we've collected over literal years of spiritual practice. The techniques and wisdom that transformed us from controlled pawns into conscious creators are now available to those ready to walk the same path. This is your invitation to join Obsidian Inner Order and support our platform so we can continue growing our megaphone to reach other chosen ones waiting for activation. By joining the Obsidian Inner Order, you're not just gaining access to forbidden knowledge, you're becoming part of a movement that's rewriting reality itself. It's a 360 win for all of us. Link is in the description. You were never meant to play small because small dreams don't require the full spectrum of your capabilities. You were never designed to follow someone else's blueprint because your unique combination of experiences has prepared you to solve problems and create solutions that no one else could conceive. Your time of preparation is complete. Your season of breakthrough has begun. The seeds you've been planting through every word spoken in faith, every action taken despite fear, every decision to trust your vision over popular opinion, are now ready to sprout into a harvest that will astound everyone who doubted what you could accomplish, starting from where you began. This is not just your moment to succeed, this is your moment to become the person you were always meant to be, someone who creates legacies from nothing, transforms obstacles into opportunities, and demonstrates that the impossible is simply the untried. The world has been waiting for what you came here to build. Stop keeping it waiting.